Hi friends, today I'll show you how to draw the nephron diagram in exams. There are 1 to 3 million uriniferous tubules will be there in each kidney. Each uriniferous tubules will consist of two parts. One is the excretory part and another one is the collecting part. In the excretory part, again it is divided into two parts. It consists of renal corpuscle and renal tubules. Now I am drawing the first one is a renal corpuscle which continues as the renal tubules consists of PCT, loop of Henle and DCT collecting duct. See, this is the thick loop of Henle. Will continues as the ascending thick limb and then it continues as the distal convoluted tubule which drains into the collecting duct. See, this is the renal artery and this is the afferent arteriole coming from the renal artery which forms the glomerulus. Here, main renal corpuscle, you have to know about the renal corpuscle or nothing but Malpighian corpuscle. It is mainly made for the substance to filtrate from the blood plasma. It is mainly made up of, that is a function of the renal or Malpighian corpuscle. Main function is to filtrate the substance from the blood plasma. It is acquired by presence of two parts, nothing but one is the glomerulus and another one is the Bowman's capsule. First one is the glomerulus. Glomerulus is nothing but made up of tuft of capillaries, and that cup-shaped depression will be known as the Bowman's capsule. Now I am drawing this efferent arteriole continues as the this veins, this plexus here. This plexus is nothing but a peritubular plexus. Efferent arteriole will continues as the small segmental veins and drains into the renal vein. See, what I am coloring is the Bowman's capsule, nothing but it's a cup-shaped depression. This Bowman's capsule along with that glomerulus, above that we will see in that cup-shaped depression, we will see the tuft of capillaries which is formed by the afferent arteriole and efferent arteriole, known as both these two combine together to form a renal corpuscle or nothing but Malpighian corpuscle. And then now I am drawing the coiled part known as the proximal convoluted tubule, and then after we will see the straight tube, nothing but a descending, which continues as the descending limb of loop of Henle, thick descending limb and thin descending limb. So that thin descending limb, this loop of Henle is nothing but a hairpin bend shape. This a thin ascending limb will continue as the thick ascending limb. This coiled distal convoluted tubule will ends into the collecting duct. This is the collecting duct. So many renal tubules, they'll ends into the collecting duct. All these collecting ducts, they'll go into the minor calyces which ends into the renal papillae. All this, see here I am drawing just small ductules coming, so many renal tubules, they are ending at this collecting duct together to form a duct of Bellini. We call now it is a duct of Bellini. This duct of Bellini passes towards the minor calyces and will enter into the renal medullary pyramids, which passes towards the renal papillae. This is the renal vein and these are the collecting ducts. And after joining all this number of ducts, it called as a duct of Bellini. There is a renal artery which forms the tuft of capillaries in the cup-shaped depression as the glomerulus. This is the afferent arteriole coming from the renal artery and this is the efferent arteriole. It is a glomerulus, and then Bowman's capsule. Together we call this glomerulus and Bowman's capsule. Together we call it as the renal corpuscle or Malpighian corpuscle. This is a coiled PCT, coiled proximal convoluted tubule. It's the loop of Henle, which is the hairpin band shape. This is the peritubular capillary network. It is a thick ascending limb which continues as the coiled distal convoluted tubule. This is a thick descending limb. Thick ascending limb. This part will be seen in the outer cortex. This renal corpuscle and some part of the collecting duct will be seen in the outer cortex, and these parts, this coiled PCT and some part of thick descending limb and thick ascending limb will be seen in the outer medulla, and totally this loop of Henle and duct of Bellini will be seen in the inner medulla. This is the arterial supply of the kidney. Right diagram is the anterior surface and left diagram is the posterior surface of kidney. This anterior surface and posterior surface both are supplied by dividing the kidney into segments. So first, if you see the renal artery, it is divided into 5 segmental arteries. For anterior surface, 4 segmental arteries will supply, and for the posterior surface, only 1 segmental artery goes towards the posterior surface and supply there. Here, we'll see the segments. And on the right surface, we'll see the apical, upper and middle and lower segments. Whereas on the posterior surface, this broad line will divide the posterior surface into apical, lower, upper, middle. See here, apical, upper, middle and lower segments. Now we'll see the mode of vascular supply in the kidney. First, the main branch starts from the abdominal aorta at second lumbar vertebra. There it gives a branch renal artery. From the renal artery, it gives a 5 segmental artery, 4 to the anterior surface, 1 to the posterior surface. The segmental arteries, after entering into the kidney, it divides into the lobar artery and then interlobar artery, and then arcuate artery. This after arcuate artery, this interlobar artery. This is the afferent arteriole. Interlobar artery divides into afferent arteriole, and then it forms a glomerulus. It enters into the glomerulus. From the glomerulus, now we'll see the efferent arteriole. Efferent arteriole from the glomerulus. This is the peritubular plexus, which is seen at the loop of Henle. There is an interlobular vein. Arcuate vein, interlobar vein, lobar vein, segmental vein, and 5 segmental veins. It is the renal vein. Segmental veins drains into the renal vein and then inferior vena cava. Renal vein drains into IVC. This is the mode of vascular supply by passing through the number of segments in the kidney. So after completing this vascular supply, next we'll see the lymphatic drainage. This lymphatic drainage is mainly done by the lateral aortic group of lymph nodes which are located at the level of renal arteries. After that, if you see the nerve supply, this nerve supply is mainly supplied by the offshoots coming from the celiac plexus. Nothing but first they will form the renal plexus. After that, it supplies to the kidney. Sympathetic group of nerves which are arising from the T10 to L2, they are nothing but vasomotor. Afferent nerves of the kidney, they belong to the segments T10 to T12 nerves. These are the anomalies of the kidneys. This is the diagram of renal angle. On the right and left side, you can see the markings. First, the renal angle is nothing but it is angle between the outer border of the erector spinae. If you see the left side kidney, there you can see that is erector spinae muscle. It is angle between the outer border of the erector spinae and lower border of the 12th rib. There you can see the lower part of the kidney. That angle is known as a renal angle. It is see here, it's already written there, angle between the lower border of 12th rib and lateral border of the erector spinae muscle. There we can felt the lower part of the kidney. That is mainly useful for the examination of tenderness of the kidney. By applying the pressure with the thumb, we can feel the tenderness of the kidney during the cases of perinephric abscess. This is the condition polycystic kidney. Here both the kidneys are filled with fluid-filled sacs. Nothing but non-cancerous condition it is, but it is inherited and congenital disorder. By the presence of this overall cyst inside the kidney, there will be the reduction of function of kidney in that person's. All these are the fluid-filled sacs. This is the another condition known as the nephritis. Nephritis is nothing but inflammation of the kidney. See here, right side is the normal kidney, left side is the inflamed kidney. Total the structures inside the kidney, they are inflamed. That condition is known as a nephritis. Nephritis and polynephritis. This is the chronic renal failure conditions. The patient will undergo the hemodialysis. This is the image of hemodialysis. In that the total kidney function will be impaired. The patient will undergo the program known as a dialysis, and it is of two types. One is the hemodialysis. This is the peritoneal dialysis. Both in these two conditions, hemo or peritoneal dialysis, the kidney's function is totally completely impaired. So they will completely depend upon the program known as a dialysis. This image is of peritoneal dialysis. Here they will set the catheter inside the peritoneum.